Hello everyone, so this is the dashboard visual. On the dashboard visual, there's a few metrics that you can see at the very top. You have the gross royalties, the spend, and the net royalties, along with the number of total units sold, which if you hover, it tells you exactly the breakdown. The return on investment ROI, it tells you exactly how it's calculated, and the advertising cost of sales, ACOS here, which is for the selected time period. You can toggle to switch between the gross royalties or the net royalties at the top, so which ones you want to be the big number. You have a selection from all the time periods that you can have here, so you can do monthly, you can do yearly, you can do all time or a specific time frame. You can add any extra filter that you want, so you have a selection of roughly 9 filters here, so you have by title, by author, by series, and a lot more. So for example, you can do by platform here, you can unselect all of them and enable only Amazon or only ACX or a combination. Once you select the filter that you want, you can click apply filters and that will apply and change all the statistics according to your filters. You have also the option to save your filters so that next time that you load this page, you can apply a specific filter. This is for people that want to save some specific filters, and when they revisit the page, they don't want to start reapplying everything. You can name the filters. For example, I made a selection here for ACX and Amazon, and I can come in here and say, okay, I want to put ACX and Amazon and save that for a selected time period, or I can make it that is applied to any period that I do at any point. Once you save that, next time that you come to this page, you'll be able to apply this filter and you don't have to go through all the filtering and all the selections again. So let me just reset this so that we have all the data that we need. Okay, so you have a carousel here of all the books. You have an option between top earners and top spenders. Top spenders, it will sort based on the books that had the biggest spend. Top earners, it will sort based on the books that have the biggest gross royalties, so the largest money. And you also can tackle and go through the carousel of all the books. You will have up to 50 books in the carousel. You can also click to go in depth, which will open another page and tell you exactly how many units of each format has been sold. Or you can filter by clicking filter. It will filter this specific page and show only that book. So if you want to narrow it down to that specific book, as you can see, it applied this title filter. So let me just reset that so we have all the data that we need. So you can do this for any book. You have the platform versus gross royalties, which basically gives you an overview of how each platform has performed for each book. In this demo account, there is a lot of books and a lot of platforms, so it's just overwhelming here. So you can just switch it to simple view. So the simple view, as you can see, gives you a breakdown for Google Books, Authors Republic, and all the platforms that we support. So at a glance, you can see on the right, each one how much money it brings in for the selected time period, and then you have a visual here too. You have a performance overview, which is a graph that has some analytics at the top telling you how much you spent, how much you earned, what is your net, your ROI. You can also toggle the view breakdown that shows you a breakdown between Amazon spend, Facebook spend, BookBub, external expenses, and gives you some averages. You can download this graph in case you want to save that. You also have a selection of graphs. By default is the spending versus total royalties. You can also switch to book royalties just to see how each book format has been performing. You have the option to select daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly is available when you select big time periods that can be grouped into months, quarters, and years. You can compare weekdays. If you're on the weekly, you can compare weeks. If you're on the monthly, you can compare months. So for example, you might want to see how you're doing on weekends specifically. So you can select Saturday and Sundays, and then you can see how each Saturday and Sunday you are doing day in every week basically, and see how that's been performing. You can also set a goal, which for example, I can set a goal of $20. When I set a goal and I select the line that I want to do, that goal will appear on the graph and you can see if you have achieved that goal for a selected time period or not. So this is just an overview to check on a daily basis if you're hitting your targets. You have the performance tables. Here you can select from 4 options by title, author name, country, and platform, and it gives you a breakdown by book, or depending on what you choose. So if I go far by country, it gives you a breakdown by country, each book format, how it has performed, and you can see it has a lot of columns which you can toggle the visibility on this button, and you can also export those tables. You have a profit and loss table. Again, you can go daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. You can see profit and loss. You can collapse, for example, the gross and the spend, and you can see how each day you're performing. If you go weekly, how each week you're performing, and you can see your ROI and net royalties along with all the breakdowns from all the platforms. So this is just usually something that is used to for authors to share with their accountant, or if they want to do their profitability and they want to see where they stand. You also, if you do have series of books, you can see how each series is performing. So for the selected time period, you can see how many royalties spent, ROI, net is going to show. If it's positive, it's going to show green. If it's negative, it's going to show red. If it's breaking even, so 0, it would just basically show us a grade like the other cells here. You can click to the plus button to see a country breakdown for this series. And again, you get the same columns, and you can see how each country is performing for that series. Clicking in depth will open another page for all the books in this series, so you can do further analysis. Read through, it will show you the series read through. I'll just click that and show you in a little bit. And then you have the launch stats, which is basically if you have books that have launched, and you can compare how each book has been performing from the day of launch, so that you can see if some books took off and some books didn't for the same time period. So you also get some visuals at the bottom, which is basically showing you by series how you're performing, by country, by medium, and then you also get the reads trend and the books trend. So it's just trend tables, again, which you can toggle if you want to see bar, line, monthly, weekly, and all those details. See you in the next video.